Hello everyone, this is Marshall Gittler, Head of Investment Research here at FXPRIMUS, bringing you a special report on tomorrow's Reserve Bank of Australia meeting. Now there's little disagreement on the outcome of the meeting. All 24 economists polled by Bloomberg expect them to keep rates steady. In fact, the market isn't even pricing in a 50% chance of a rate cut until September. In that case, the focus will be on the language that they use rather than any change in policy. For several months now, they've only said that, quote, the exchange rate has continued its adjustment to the evolving economic outlook, unquote. Now that was fine when the exchange rate was falling, but since the last meeting on February 2nd, Aussie dollar is up over 8% and the trade-weighted index up some 5%. Now that's well above the levels that was assumed in the February statement on monetary policy. However, this does follow an improvement in the terms of trade, so it could still be said that the exchange rate is, quote, continuing its adjustment to the evolving economic outlook, unquote. The question is whether they'll be so accepting of the upside adjustment as they were to the downside adjustment. That's what we're waiting to see. Meanwhile, at the end of their statement, they said that the next move on rates depended on, quote, whether the recent improvement in labor market conditions is continuing and whether the recent financial turbulence portends weaker global and domestic demand, unquote. Now, the labor data for February and March isn't out yet, although the data for January, which they wouldn't have had at their February meeting, showed a small drop in employment. However, the financial turbulence has certainly died down somewhat since then, as measured by the Bank of America Merrill Lynch Financial Stress Index. So I'd expect the statement to be little changed or perhaps take a slightly more optimistic view, which might help the Aussie dollar to firm up somewhat on the news. The big surprise, though, would be if they move to a more dovish tone because markets aren't expecting another rate cut anytime soon. That would be where we get a big movement in Aussie dollar. This is Marshall Gittler, Head of Investment Research at FXPRIMUS. Get more market insights on our education pages and turn your trading ideas into action with FXPRIMUS, the safest place to trade.